Hello and welcome to the FocusHoops WNBA Show. It is episode 9. It is the playoff previews. The playoffs have arrived and we are going to look at round 1 tonight. We're going to break down just a little bit, preview Chicago Sky versus Connecticut Sun. That is the 7 p.m. Eastern game, so that's going to be midnight our time, followed up by the Phoenix Mercury and the Washington Mystics. And again, that'll be the 3 a.m. game. 2 a.m. game. My apologies. That's 9 Eastern. And we're going to lock in who we are nominating for our end of season awards. And then we're going to have a big old chat during this episode. And then probably, let's be honest, in the group chat afterwards to lock down the FocusHoops WNBA Show, WNBA award winners for the season 2020. Of course, you're watching us live on YouTube or Facebook on FocusHoops. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching live, if you're watching on replay on demand, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win in these games? Is it the Sky? Is it the Sun? Mercury or Phoenix? What do you like? What do you dislike about these teams, these matchups? Also, who do you have for the end of season regular awards? Let us know. Again, we read every comment we get, and if you get it into us live, we can have it on screen, discuss it, see what the experts, Mikey and Kaz, have to say about your comments, your hot takes on the WNBA. As always, we are presented by Notch, the mark of achievement. More about them and their very exciting new basketball collection a little bit later on. My name is Darren Paul, and I'm very glad that you're here joining us. And I'm joined by Kaz Bullock, basketball royalty from Manchester, and Mr. Michael Hanson Morris. There we go. 2019-20 WNBL D1 Coach of the Year. Let's just Kaz's nameplate up as well. Boom. Basketball royalty. We appear to be rocking jerseys, Kaz and I. I decided to go, let's get that out of here a sec. Decided to go Cambridge City Basketball Club. It's a fine set of individuals. If you're in the Cambridge area, get in touch with Cambridge Basketball Club. They're on YouTube. They're on Facebook. Wonderful group. And you've gone Washington.
I'm in Washington, yeah. Wizards, obviously, but I'm trying to represent the Mystics there a little bit.
Is that what it is? When are you going to officially change your allegiance? I still feel you are a Mystics fan deep down in heart.
I think I am. But
that is outrageous.
Maybe.
That is also a better time zone for you, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I'm not convinced. Yeah. Mikey, have we got a basketball affiliated attire on today?
No, because you didn't tell me about this memo.
This wasn't a memo. This was what we call a game time decision. I can kick you off the stream and you can go and grab yourself a jersey. We'll go do that. No?
No, I don't even have a jersey. So,
no.
No.
Okay, no. But no memo.
But I would be repping a team that Kaz doesn't want me to rep, so I wouldn't rep it anymore.
Oh. That's very nice of you, considering what I did last week.
Yeah. Game 7 was lost by Toronto, so.
Well done to Boston.
Would this have been a Celtics attire that you'd have been repping?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Good man. You love to see it. The playoff seedings have been decided. And like an idiot, I didn't put a graphic together of that, but we do have our 2 first-round matchups. So let's just look at them very briefly. The Phoenix Mercury, the 5 seed, taking on the Washington Mystics in the 8 seed. And again, that's the 2 a.m. game in the morning. And we've got the Connecticut Sun, the 7 seed, taking on the Chicago Sky in the 6 seed. Your other playoff teams, of course, Las Vegas Aces, they were the 1 seed, Seattle Storm, the 2 seed, both with an 18-4 record. But of course, the Aces beat the Storm 2 times. Los Angeles Sparks, Kaz's alleged Los Angeles Sparks, came 3rd, and the Minnesota Lynx 4th with a 14-8 record. The top 6 sides all had a over 500 season. That means they won more than half of their games. And from Connecticut, Connecticut went 10-12, and Washington went 9-13. Shall we just quickly wrap up the last day of the regular season? Shall we? Does that seem like a sensible place to begin?
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, as I have no official allegiance, though, there are some teams. What is this? What is this? No, I've got a soft spot for one or two situations. I'm not too big to say that. Yeah, it was a tough day on Sunday for Darren. Dallas Wings, who I've really enjoyed over the last couple of years. I've got to admit, just narrowly missed out on the playoffs, and it was that Friday night game. Who did they lose to on Friday? It was the Chicago Sky that ultimately did for them, because a strong win on Sunday nearly had them through, but the Washington Mystics took care of their business and they make the 8th seed. So, Kaz, do you want to talk us through what you saw over the weekend?
Yeah, 6 amazing games that we had over the weekend. So Sunday night, we started with Washington, New York. Dallas.
Dallas, New York.
Dallas, New York. Yeah. Sorry, I've lost my schedule. Dallas, New York, which was actually a lot closer than I think anybody probably expected it to be. New York were up by 1 with, I think, 30 seconds left. Made a very questionable decision to take a shot instead of holding onto the ball to get the foul from Dallas. And then, as we saw last Sunday as well, when she went off for 39 points, Arike Ogunbowale gets the ball, drives, makes a contested shot, gets the and one, and seals the win for Dallas. At which point, Dallas were just needing a Atlanta win over Washington for them to take the last spot in the playoffs. That was the final game of the evening, and Washington managed to beat Atlanta. It was a pretty close game all the way through. We got to about a minute and a half left, at which point the WNBA League Pass decided to have technical difficulties. So I missed a bit of a chunk there, but I think Washington had kind of taken over a little bit. And Ariel Atkins had 26 points, tied a career high, and Washington just looked a bit more like they were getting it together after the bad run that they'd had in August. So last week, when I think I said, made my wild take that Atlanta would make it to the playoffs, and everyone was like, that's not going to happen. Obviously, it didn't happen. But had I said Washington, did anybody think that Washington were going to take that last playoff spot and go 5-1 in their last set of games against teams like Chicago, Dallas, and LA? It's been quite a turnaround for them, and it's exciting for them to get the 8th seed.
Mikey, did you see this wild situation transpiring? Oh, we appear to have muted Mikey. You have muted yourself. Is this another technical issue with the Hunter Morris? Nod once for yes. Okay. Yeah, okay. Mikey, we will come back to you in just a moment. We're just going to skadoof you out of there. Yeah, it's... So, you say that, who could have predicted? Who would have seen this? And you're right. I wasn't exactly being like, he's got a real shot. The Mystics.
Yeah.
But, reel off those names again. Who did they face in the run-in?
So they beat Chicago, they beat Minnesota, they beat LA, they beat New York and Atlanta, and lost in overtime to Dallas in their last 6 games.
Okay.
So
I mean, tough.
Chicago, Minnesota, and LA. I didn't have them down as winning those.
No, it's true. It's they're tough matchups, but
Yeah.
was it always out of the question, given the fact that for the most part they had their playoff spots locked in and so on and so forth. That being said, I mean, Chicago still gave Dallas the business the other day. Mikey, I believe you're back.
I hope so.
Oh, he's back. All right, Mikey, take it away. What did you see on over the weekend? What have you taken away from it?
I mean, you summed it up perfectly about the Mystics. Like, you just didn't see them beating 3 of the top 5 sides in the run-in the way they've been playing. And it's kind of going to be the story we'll talk about, is their season's kind of been split. They've either been great and gone on a big winning streak, or lost everything. And there's not been any in between. So are they sort of peaking at the right time? Possibly. We'll see. Obviously, the other run-in was at the top with Seattle, LA, and Vegas. Obviously, LA getting upset by the Mystics on Thursday kind of took them out of the running for the 1 seed and the 2 seed. They had a shot at the 2 seed, but it was always going to be a bit of an uphill task, because they suddenly needed to beat Vegas, and then Seattle to beat Vegas, I think, was the tie break. And yeah, we got treated to Seattle Vegas on Sunday in the middle game, and that was a great game again. Seattle missing both Brianna Stewart and Sue Bird, and Vegas ground out the win, and even though they're on the doubleheader, and that put them in the number 1 spot, which obviously normally in any other year would mean a lot more than it probably does. This year there's probably not a lot of difference between the 1 and the 2 seed. But yeah, definitely a boost for Vegas going into the conference finals, as they'll be in next week, or whenever we get there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. The idea that is the 1 and the 2 seed, that's significant or not, because obviously, if you get the 1 seed, you should have an easier run through. Not that there are any easy games at this level, but you do get a little bit more rest as both the 1 and the 2 seed. And then as the 1 seed, you are going to keep getting the lower seeded team. They reseeded like the BBL, correct?
Yeah.
So how significant do you think that could be? And how do we like... And I know, Mikey, you're a real matchup guy. Kaz, I think you are a little bit as well. How do you like, the potential matchups that, let's say, the Aces, who are obviously the 1 seed, what they could be confronted with? Is anybody from 8 till 5 likely to give them significant trouble?
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is your call. Well, I suppose I assume we're going to get. I mean, Chicago have beaten Las Vegas. Is it once or twice this year? I think
twice,
it's both times.
2-point games.
Both 2-point games.
Just putting up schedules and notes in front of me.
And obviously, Chicago have.
Chicago. Yeah, LA have lost to Chicago as well. Connecticut. You see, this is the thing though. Like, you look at the records on paper. Like, Connecticut have beaten. They've won 2 games amongst the teams above them. They went 2-12 in those for the teams above 500. But you can't rule them out on their day. Like, they've got talent. If they get everyone fit, their big 3 play great, then you can't rule them out, especially in a 1-game scenario. Like, if you're LA, like, that's the gap, because it's single elimination for LA in the first round. It's so easy just to have a 15-20 minute off period, and suddenly you're on the way home. And yeah, look, you can't rule out Washington the way they've played. We forget they've beaten Seattle this season, they've beaten LA, they've beaten Minnesota, and they've beaten Chicago. They've beaten 4 of the top 6 sides. So I would think it's unlikely, just because they're so short-handed. Yeah. But you never know. It's especially in a 1-game elimination, like, anything is possible.
Now that we've got easy Kevin Garnett, now that we've got our 1 and 2 seed officially locked in. And by the way, if you're watching this, get in the comments. Let us know who you think is going to make it to the WNBA finals this season. Do we think it is locked in for Las Vegas versus Seattle as the final? No. Ooh. All right, Mikey, I'm gonna let you ruminate on what you've just said. Kaz, I know we're I promise you we're gonna get back to round 1 proper in a moment. We're gonna have an in-depth look at the matchups. But Kaz, do you think we've got a Storm Aces finals ahead of us?
I do, yes. Yeah, I think they're the top 2 teams. The game on Sunday was fantastic. It felt like a playoff game. It was just so close all the way through, backwards and forwards. Jewel Lloyd had 19 points in the third quarter. And this was without Brianna Stewart and Sue Bird. Now, the first time we saw them, Stewart was playing, but Bird wasn't.
Yeah. And
Vegas kind of took them to task a bit there. They
quite a lot.
Quite a big win. This was a little bit closer. I think it was 2 points in the end. But they just match up so well. And I can't see another team beating either of them in a 3-game series. Maybe they beat them once, twice. 3 times, I think it's too much.
Yeah. I was like thinking about Chicago and Mikey, like what you say, on their day, they need 8 days. I don't see them having 8 days, not with a 12-10 record. And like, you know, I keep going back to what Ishmael Fontaine said, and I think it has a lot of truth in it, that I need to see you be able to dominate. And for all the good they've done, a lot of their wins have been squeaky close wins, which is an important skill. You have to have that. You have to be able to, when it gets nitty gritty, you've got to be able to get nitty and grittier than your opponent. But I need to see that domination, because you've got 8 tough wins to get out, and you've got 8 plus 3 more plus 3 more. What's that going to be, like 15? Oh no, 16. Maths. You got a real tough road ahead of you. However many games you end up playing, maths is not my friend right now. 12 games. You got tough 12 games. Yeah. I don't know. You need domination. You need to make life easy for you. I don't see Chicago, Connecticut, or Washington being able to make life easy for themselves.
Phoenix, maybe if they had a bigger bench, but really the lack of bench really worries me. They're just gonna, if they get past the single game eliminations and get into a 3-5 game series, they're just gonna get tired.
That's fair. Mikey, you don't think we're headed for Aces Storm? What do you see? What do you perceive?
No, we might not. There's a difference. And let me take you back to Friday, the 4th of September.
Okay.
What happened? An out-of-bounds buzzer beater by Seattle to beat LA.
So yeah, when Kaz, when you said, Jewel Lloyd scored, was it 19 in the fourth?
In the third, yeah.
In the third, sorry. 19 in the third. And she did it without, and I thought, God, you were going to be like, without stepping out of bounds on a shot. I was like, sorry, Kazzy Spice, didn't realise that you were here.
It's a sore subject.
Yeah, a little bit. So what you're saying to us, Mikey, that anything can happen in this wild world of bubble life in the WNBA?
What I'm saying is, if we get LA and Seattle, which will be the 2 and the 3 seed, are we really right now saying the Sparks have no chance?
Not no chance.
Not no chance.
Not no chance.
Like, I'm not saying it's going to be, are we going to see both these teams sweep their way to the final? Not necessarily.
Well, that could well be a Game 5 type series. And at that point, it's a coin flip. I don't think you can rule out the Sparks. Look, I'm not... I think Minnesota will be short, but if Sylvia Fowles comes back and is healthy, I don't think Vegas would breeze past Minnesota. They've played them fairly well this year. Let me find the result in my big notebook. Okay, they were both double-digit games, but I think both may have been without Fowles, who's a huge piece, especially against the Vegas side that is so interior dominant. Your favourites are probably the top two because look, we've just seen 22 games that prove it, but I don't think they're shoo-ins for the conference finals. For the finals. Look, there's 7 or 8 very good basketball teams in here, and I would not be surprised if something crazy happened. Ironically, it's a year to the day since maybe the most crazy WNBA moment ever.
The Hamby Heave.
Was that a year ago today?
Yep.
Oh, the 15th of September 2019 was a big day. It was the Men's World Cup final. My boys, Argentina, sadly lost. Racing played Gimnasia Esgrima Plata in Diego Maradona's debut as a manager, and Racing smashed them off the floor or the football pitch. And the Hamby Heave.
Also out of bounds.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Calm yourself. You're on about the Kazi Spice is back. Can I be honest with everybody, with the world right now? I want to see Las Vegas win it all because of something Michael said. Because they are so interior heavy, it would just be fun, just kind of cool and I don't know, different. Am I wrong? Am I off base here? To see like a real interior, slightly old school, nitty and indeed gritty basketball prevailing on the biggest stage of them all. Am I completely wrong?
No, I think it would be exciting. I mean, they're playing a completely different game. They're playing a very different game to the other 11 teams in the league. It'd be really interesting to see a team that isn't so dependent on 3-point shooting as some of the other ones are. I'd like it.
Mikey, are they significantly interesting for you? Sufficiently interesting?
Different. It doesn't mean necessarily that I want them to win because they're different.
That's fine. That is your right to not want different to win. That's okay. Before we move on to looking more closely at the first round matchups, is there anything else that we need to address from this weekend's action?
The missing assist for Courtney Vandersloot was found.
Yes,
so now she averages 10 assists a game for the season, which is just a record and absolutely incredible.
So she finished the game against Dallas with 12 assists, 0 goose eggs in the fourth quarter, which is just
wild.
Kind of weird. Yeah, wild. That left her with 9.55 assists per game. I think that's no
9.95. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. That makes a lot more sense. Maths, not my strength today, apparently. Kept it close to record. It would have rounded up. Yeah, one short. It would have rounded up to 10. But because it wasn't 10, they weren't going to credit her officially with any sort of mention of it. But they trolled the record books because when they're one away, and we know how assist tracking is a little bit of a dark art and a murky science at the best of times, they found it. And it was against the Dallas Wings way back in August. Sorry, was it August 4th? I think it was. And they found an assist credited to Ali Quigley, the wife of Courtney Vandersloot, rather than Sloot herself. They have fixed that erroneous assist, and now she officially has 10 average assists per game, which is frankly outrageous and ridiculous. And did I not say this was going to happen, by the way? Did I not predict?
He was going to be short last week.
And then I believe I said if she's like one short, they will find that assist.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I those words came out of my mouth, Michael Anton Morris. What is this slander? Kaz remembers.
I mean, there's video proof of this
somewhere. Yeah.
So someone can find out.
I don't know if I'll be that person. Okay. So congratulations to Courtney Vandersloot. the greatest passer of a basketball in the history of the sport. I'm gonna say it. Best assist in history. 4 times. She has been the leading average assister in the WNBA. And she's just been smashing records left, right, and center. 18 assists in a game, in a 40-minute game, for that matter. Outrageous. Courtney Vandersloot, you're a superstar, but it wasn't enough for Player of the Week honors. That went to Asia Wilson and Kaz's favorite, Maisha Hines-Allen. I think, favorite, is that too strong? Not strong enough.
We'll say it. Favorite.
There you go. Cassie Spice's favorite, Maisha Hines-Allen. We'll get to having a final discussion about our awards, and we're going to properly lock them in Thursday. We're going to have graphics and everything. It's going to be beautiful. Are we ready to talk about the Connecticut Sun, the 7 seed Connecticut Sun taking on the 6 seed Chicago Sky? DeWanna Bonner taking on Courtney Vandersloot. That's not exactly a positional matchup, but we will go with it. So,
Bonner's actually listed as a forward guard, which I discovered this week.
That's great.
Yeah, that's well, I suppose on this roster, or on this full-size roster, you've got Jonquel Jones coming back, so that's going to scooch DeWanna Bonner down a little bit. Who else is there that's going to pop her down to like the wing? In essence, I don't know.
Someone not currently on their roster.
Yeah, I guess so. Who's right? First question. Cassie Spice, who is winning this game?
Chicago are winning this, and we were talking last week. So Chicago are on a bit of a free fall. Getting into the end of the season, they had a pretty good start. They won against Dallas in their last game, and I think they needed that. As we were saying, they got back into some sort of rhythm. They're going into the playoffs on a bit of a high. Vandersloot's got her assist record. They adapted what they needed to do and just sort of found themselves again. Started playing like they were at the start of the season, and I think they're coming off that, going into the playoffs, and they're just gonna kind of carry on. I think Quigley had a pretty quiet game by her standards on Friday against Dallas. And, she's not going to have 2 quiet games in a row. Kalia Copper is one of the players that we've got down for most improved in the season. Steph Dolson said after the game, she wasn't quite playing up to it as she'd been wanting to the last few games, and I think they may be clicking back again. So I think it's going to be tough because Bonner and Alyssa Thomas have just been incredible this season. The 2 of them scoring together is just fantastic, and it's going to be tough for Connecticut. But Connecticut have just lost as well Bria Holmes for the rest of the season, so she's left the wobble with a torn meniscus, I believe it was. So she's left, so they're down another bench player. But we know Connecticut aren't too bench heavy anyway in their rotations. But yeah, Chicago is my prediction.
Mikey.
Form wins. So for me, especially in a 1-game series, I'm giving the slight edge to Connecticut.
I mean, you say form wins. Like, the form for both teams, not great. Though Kaz is absolutely correct. They did beat the resurgent Dallas Wings and fairly well on Friday night as well, whereas the Connecticut Sun were losing to the Atlanta Dream 82-75 on Friday, and they also lost to the Mercury 195 on the Wednesday. So I mean, that's 2 tough matchups. You got Mercury, on their day they can pretty much beat anybody, I would suggest. And Atlanta Dream, who were riding hard for a playoff spot when Connecticut were already there. So that seems, yeah. So you've got Chicago. Did you want to elaborate on that, Mikey?
Well, I know you're saying form is equal. Chicago have won like 2 of their last 7. And they seem to be trending down. We talked earlier in the year about them not winning games convincingly. And I don't love the matchup for Chicago. I think the extra size, especially now Stevens is out of the wobble for Chicago. I think Connecticut are going to have a way in the paint quite a bit. And yeah, I just haven't seen enough from Chicago recently to be convinced.
So, sorry. So you've gone Connecticut for the win.
Yeah, 4 wins, Connecticut.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. That's interesting.
Someone I think might show up a bit in this single game just after the last game, and it's not representative of how she's played all season, but Ruth Hebert had a bit of a breakout game last Friday. And yeah, that's one game, but she's looking a lot more confident in the play, and she's down in the post. Obviously, going against Alyssa Thomas is a pretty difficult matchup, but I think she might be a bit of a difference maker in this.
Okay, so I am going with a bit of a coin flip. Do you know what? I might just go Connecticut. Like you say, and like I said earlier, and they've been a bit up and down. They've been very streaky. And Connecticut, after a truly atrocious start, let's not be around the bush, really got on a roll, really played some fantastic basketball at times. I mean, we saw their game a few weeks ago on the stream. Yeah, I trust them just a little bit more, but I don't know how much further either of these two teams are going to make it during this playoffs. But I think I'm going to go Connecticut Sun as well. I think it's going to be one of those cagey, squeaky finishes. Which it's a shame if that's how it turns out, because Chicago came into this season with such lofty ambition. They wanted to win this league. Diamond DeShields wanted to be MVP. They wanted to really go out there, make a proper statement. And I mean, we're writing it off already. We're saying it's not happening, which, I mean, that's not fair. That's not accurate. I mean, I feel like I'm doing that right now. But it's just felt a little bit meh. You know what I mean? Like, lots of injuries. But yeah, I'm going to go Connecticut Sun. I'm going to go Connecticut Sun on this one. All right, I'm going to give you guys just a moment to catch your breath. And whilst I'm going to talk about our sponsor for today's show, Notch, the Mark of Achievement. Now, I've spoken about them a couple of times before, and they've come on board as a partner with Focus Hoops, and we're very glad to have them with us. If you click that link in the description, and also you can see it on the screen right now, you can get yourself one of these beautiful notches, one of these beautiful notch bracelets, and customize it to your specifications. Are you a basketball player? Did you have 18 assists in a game and you want to commemorate that? That's great. Go ahead, go onto the Notch website, mynotch.co.uk collections, basketball notch collection, and customize your own notch with your bracelet of choice to commemorate those 18 assists. Did you enjoy playing a season with a specific team? You can go on there, select your team, or customize it. Or if you just like general basketball lingo, smash, block, all ball, block or charge, in fact, all ball, go ahead, head yourself over to the Notch website and check out their fantastic basketball collection. Again, I absolutely love Notch. I wear mine pretty much all the time. I don't have it on right now, which is a little bit awkward, but I would wear it all the time, all day long, and I'm definitely going to be buying more notches in the very, very near future. I've got what's it called? I've got a load in my basket that I just need to hit enter on. So that is Notch, Mark of Achievement. Check out their collection. Links in the description. The other game that we have coming up today, it is 2 a.m. It is the Phoenix Mercury. Mercury did rise again taking on the Washington Mystics. When I was putting together this graphic, I was having a real quandary over which Mercury player to select. What do we make of the selection of Diana Taurasi? Is that the one I should have gone with? Or should I have gone somewhere else?
I very nearly put her in my all WNBA first team.
Taurasi?
Yeah.
Okay. Not Skylar Diggins-Smith?
No, not over the course of the year. Taurasi's numbers are slightly better. She's shooting the three exceptionally well. Maybe one of the best years of her career she's had shooting it from deep. And she just controls the games of Phoenix time in, time out. So.
Yeah, okay. Fair play. Mikey. Kaz, what say you?
Yeah, I think you could go Taurasi or Skylar Diggins, because Skylar's coming back off obviously a year out after giving birth, and she's having a great year as well. But Taurasi is just like, we know she's great, we know she can do these things, but she's just, since the Kobe tribute day in Jersey, she has just flipped a switch and she's taken over. Her 3-point play is just amazing. What did she have? 8 in a game the other day, and she's just a single elimination game against Diana Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury. Sorry, I always do that. Nobody wants to play that.
No, I quite agree. Same question for Washington then. Was Miesemann the right choice, or
Heinz Allen?
Yeah,
Heinz Allen.
Yeah. Heinz Allen.
She's been in so good for Washington, and I think without her, they wouldn't be in this playoff spot at all. You could easily say that.
Yeah, I was literally just looking at the standings, the schedule. I cannot believe the Washington Mystics are in the WNBA playoffs.
They went 1-12 in August.
I mean, at the same time, I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Like, did you see their first 5 games? They start 5-0 or
3-0.
3-0. And it was just astronomical. It was beautiful. And then they fell apart. And now they made the 8. They've got Phoenix Mercury. Tough game. Only a 4-win difference. So I don't know if that means anything at all. But Michael, what is your feel for this series? Or sorry, 1-game matchup.
Everything logical screams Phoenix.
Oh.
But I don't know. I don't know why I have a feeling this could be an upset. But yeah, I mean, Phoenix swept the regular season. It was 2-0. One of them was a 1-point game. The other was a blowout. That was at the end of August. And really, Washington probably, he certainly had a good look at being Phoenix the first time. But I've been really high on Phoenix recently. I think they're playing great. I think their numbers since, ironically, and we've talked about it a little bit before, since Brittany Griner's left has been ridiculous. Some of the Taurasi, Diggins-Smith, Kia Vaughan stepped up. Brianna Turner's been sensational, and everything points towards Phoenix. But I don't know. I've just got this little feeling that Washington might win tonight. I don't know why.
This guy, the curse.
But I do know why I think things could. So Washington could win, but it's
I don't know who you're cursing though. That's the big problem. I'm not entirely sure who you've just cursed. Cassie Spice, tell us.
Do you know what? I'm absolutely with Mikey on this. There's something that's saying to me like Chicago and Washington in these two games, and he'd right. Going up against this Phoenix team in a 1 game, as a team that's just sort of scraped into the 8th seed, they shouldn't really have a chance. But I don't know. I feel like I feel like they're gonna cause an upset. I mean, there are teams that they've lost 4 of their starting 5 from last year. They lost Ariel Powers to an injury not long after the season started, which has had a really detrimental impact on them. They've picked up Jackie Gemelos, Jackie G, one of the best stories we've seen in the league, who's now back in the league and into the playoffs. They've got Stella Johnson, a rookie that was cut twice and then comes in and scores 25 points in a game. They've picked up Lilani Mitchell, who was just hoping to be a bit of a bench player, and she's ended up starting and having one of her best seasons. And they're just a team that shouldn't really be winning and getting into this position. And I just think there's something there. I think Maisha Hines-Allen, Ariel Atkins together, they're going to do something against Phoenix. And I'm glad that my building doesn't have a lobby and Diana Taurasi can't come and find me in it. But I think Washington might take this.
I mean, you're not unofficial, so you'll be fine. Look, as somebody who, obviously, Mikey, we love the curse that you are, or can be at times. But and part of me part of me loves chaos. Part of all of us loves chaos. Okay, could you imagine the memes if the Mystics do this? Could you imagine the spice on WNBA Twitter?
Taurasi's 13-1 in win or go home games. I think I read earlier today.
Yeah, and that's a big part of where I sort of hold myself back, because it's like, okay, Mystics are on a roll that I think they're in decent form at the moment. I say decent form, 1-4, the second most informed team in the entire league. But it's Phoenix. It's Diana Taurasi, who some call the greatest player who's ever played the game, Boy, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to throw this one out there.
Do it.
The issue with Phoenix is they give up the second most points in the league off their turnovers, behind only New York.
Uh-huh.
And they lead the league in second chance points allowed. So Washington are going to get a few cheap ones, which they don't normally get. But to me, one of Washington's strengths is on the glass.
Yeah, and it should be with the players they have available.
They have. And if Phoenix are already giving up, and this is since Brittany Griner's left, I've kind of done it over the last 10 games, that Phoenix are giving up 14.5 points a game of second chance. For second chance points a game. I think Washington could get 16 to 18, and that might just allow them to stay in the game. And that's kind of the thing when I was looking at this match in a little bit more detail. What jumped out to me is Phoenix are poor, or have been poor since Griner left in those two categories. Now, other defensive categories, they're the best team in the league in some defensive categories. They've got great rim protection with Brianna Turner, but if she fouls out, we've said this, neither team has a lot of depth.
Yeah.
But the one area Phoenix have no depth really is in the big department. And if Turner's aggressive, she's done a terrific job for them. But if she gets some foul trouble inside with Meesseman and Hines-Allen, that's the way I can see it being a kind of a long night, and the Mystics have that road to victory.
Talk to me about the 3-point game, because that's where where I need to be convinced a little bit in the case for Washington. Where, to me, and I need to look at the numbers real quick, but Phoenix are the second best 3-point shooting team in the league. Do you know what? It's neck and neck actually with Washington. Washington are right there with threes made. So that negates that somewhat.
And I've just said all that on the last 10 games, the Mystics are the worst team in the league in offensive rebounding. So that makes some sense. But no, the 3-point shooting is similar.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And if you kind of look at the head-to-head, like Taurasi scored 24 a game, and that's going to be key for Mystics. Is can they slow her down? But no one else has kind of gone off. Like Skylar Diggins had, she's averaged 17 a game against the Mystics. Kia Vaughan 16, but off that, no one else is in double digits. And that depth is a bit of an issue. If one of Taurasi or Diggins Smith has a rough night, you don't expect Kia Vaughan probably in a game like this to give you 16 on 72% shooting, which is what she's averaging in the series. There's just everything says Phoenix should win, but as we said, there just seems that little path that Washington could sneak it, and they're playing great in the last 5-6 games.
So are we all locked in?
I'm Phoenix, but I can see how the Mystics pull it off.
Okay, so you're Phoenix. Kazzy, Spice?
I'm going to say Washington.
I'm going to join you. Because I love the chaos. I love the spice.
I know, bring it on.
All right, so we think we've got. Well, we know. We don't know. We don't know. We think we have some ideas. Shall we move on to our final category of the evening, which is us locking in our award nominations that we are now going to go have a little chat on air and probably have a little chat off air just to break down, decide on the Focus Hoops award winners for the year 2020. Let us begin with and of course we have Mikey's over unders. Shall we finish with over unders?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's finish with over unders. Okay, right. We will start with shall we start with most improved? Shall we go through individual categories and then teams of the year? Let's do that. But we'll finish with MVP, obviously. Most improved player. I'm still all aboard the Betnijah Laney train. Mikey, who have you gone with?
I've got Laney.
You got Laney. Kaz?
I've got Laney. I jumped off the Heinz Allen train last week and hopped on to Laney.
So we can confirm the 2020 Focus Hoops WNBA winner, most improved player, Betnijah Laney,
who was cut before the start of this season.
That's just absurd to me.
That's part of why she needs to win it.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I revised my stance, and she's transformed her game. Atlanta picked her up as a defensive specialist, and she's just turned into a very productive scorer She's changed the game completely.
Okay, so perfect. Now that's a simple one. That was light work for us all. Let's move on to slightly. I don't know if it's any heavier, to be honest. Sixth Woman of the Year award, WNBA. I have gone with Dearica Hamby. Again, just another brilliant year. Huge part of getting the Aces to the top of the pile. What say you, Mikey?
I've also got Hamby.
I have Hamby as well.
Dearica Hamby, making our life super easy.
Who plays more minutes than Brianna Stewart this season?
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is interesting. Is that injury, due to the injury, there's a heck of a lot of games in a short order, so managing that? Not
too much so. Stewart only missed 2 games, I believe. Hamby's played 620 minutes and Stewart's played 607.
Oh, okay. So Stewart still played. No, I wasn't meaning like missing games, but just like limiting her minutes or managing her minutes during games.
Yeah.
All right, let's scooch on to Defensive Player of the Year. Right, it's a game time decision for Darren. Mikey, who do you have?
I've definitely changed course.
Okay.
You might be aware, since I sent you mine earlier. I have gone with, and I'm just trying to find her stat because her stat line needs mentioning, and I've lost it. So just bear with me while I pull it up.
We don't have any interstitial music, but just imagine some
It is.
interstitial music right now.
I've gone, and I've just talked about it. I've gone with Brianna Turner.
Okay.
And let me just read you this of since Griner has left the wobble.
Okay.
She is averaging 3.5 blocks a game.
Right.
That is some elite rim protection. If that was over a season, maybe the highest we've ever seen. Don't know. She's pulling down nearly 13 rebounds a game in 34 minutes. I went and viewed the tape. This wasn't where I was at last week. It wasn't even on my thought, but the person that sparked my mind and was the one that was lobbying for this on social media was LaChina Robinson. And I went and pulled some tape, and she's really limited some of the big names in this league in the post in recent games. She's really made her life difficult. And look, this award could go 3, 4, 5 different ways. Parker, Thomas. Feel like I'm missing someone.
I mean, Asia. I think Asia Wilson is a shout. Going off your metrics as well.
Clark at Seattle, who's been phenomenal. But I'm kind of jumping aboard what LaChina Robinson was on about, so I've gone with Turner.
So Brianna Turner for you.
Yep.
Okay. Kaz.
So I've got Alicia Clark for Seattle, who's leading the league in plus minus at 11.9 a game. And this season, when she's been on the court, the Storm have outscored their opponents by 219 points. She does the things that don't always show up on the stat sheets. She's not leading in rebounds or steals or anything, but she holds players like to really low numbers. When they played Dallas, she kept Enrique scoreless, I think, in one of the quarters. For me. And Tarasi called her the best defender in the league.
Well, I mean, that's
high praise.
That is high praise indeed. Do I want to go Asia Wilson? Is that ridiculous? You're nodding. You're nodding that it's ridiculous. Why is it ridiculous, Mikey?
I just think there's a few that have had outstanding years, and Wilson's been good, but she's not been in that top 4 or 5 for me. And not that I've already seen the results, but I would say the Associated Press might agree with that as well.
So you have seen the results?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of fell off the who did I have?
Did you have Sykes at one point?
I did. I was on the Brittany Sykes train for a bit, seeing what she does like on the tape, but her stats weren't quite backing up what the eyes were telling me. I'm not too. I've been sold on. I like the Brianna Turner. I like the case for Brianna Turner. She's got more rebounds. I'm gonna buy in on the Brianna Turner train. But we will have that as a TB to be confirmed.
Yeah. Well, the AP went with Candice Parker, but I believe she won by 1 vote, and second was a tie with Alyssa Clark and Thomas.
Thomas.
So that's how close the AP had it. We had 3 people within 1 vote for it. So
Alyssa Thomas, you say?
Alicia Clark. For Seattle.
Oh, sorry, Alicia Clark. My apologies.
And one of the Thomases.
I'd imagine. I'd have thought Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah, I think it was Alyssa Thomas.
Her steals are high.
Yeah, it must have been. So, yeah, those 3 were within 1 vote when the AP did their awards. So
yeah.
There's not necessarily a clear definitive answer this year. I think it is a really tight race.
Yeah. This might sound revisionist, but Alyssa Thomas was one of the names floating around in my head. Let's go to Coach of the Year. I'm going to dive in. Bill Lambert. Like, are you kidding me? Best regular season team. The job that he's done building them up from where they were at in the preseason or the training period. He's done an absolutely masterful job. Bill Lambert is my Coach of the Year. Who have we been going to first? We're going to Mikey. Mikey.
Cheryl Reeve, Minnesota, easy.
Okay. Feel free to give me more. Both of you.
Yeah, I was weighing up between Bill Lambert because I think he's done a fantastic job with, like you were saying, some days in practice, they had 4 or 5 players. And I don't think anyone would have expected them to finish first without Kelsey Plum and Liz Cambage. But I just think Cheryl Reeve, whilst no one expected that from Vegas, no one expected this from Minnesota. The top 4 finish, and she's great at developing players like Crystal Dangerfield and Bridget Carlton. So I think she's done. I think she's just edges it there because the expectations were maybe different to start with.
Fair enough. We will have this conversation. And I make the graphic. WNBA 2020 Rookie of the Year. Oh no. Oh no. So I've got a couple in mind, as I'm sure we all do. Look, basically, it's Satu Sabali or Crystal Dangerfield for me. What is that face? What is that face from Michael Hansen Morris? I don't know why he's shaking his face.
Because you've mentioned 2 and it's a 3-horse race.
Well, who's the third?
Who's the third?
Kaz, I will let you do the honours with this one.
Kennedy Carter is the Rookie of the Year.
Of course, Kennedy Carter. I think I have to reward success, and the success that actually pains me a little bit. Not that I don't think she's deserving, but I love the year Satu's had, and it's been absolutely fantastic. But being like the go-to option of driving this Minnesota team, who have been missing Sylvia Fowles so badly, which obviously they don't play the same position. But have I goofed, Michael?
I've gone Dangerfield, but I also very, 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 very nearly put Kennedy Carter in my all WNBA second team. I very nearly put her in, and then I was like, hold on, I've got Dangerfield as Rookie of the Year, so I can't really.
Yeah. And
Dangerfield was in that discussion for second team as well. But yeah, I think the success and their numbers are so similar.
Yeah.
But Dangerfield's got Minnesota wins. And I'll be honest, she's a second round pick as well. And I quite like, no one was expecting her to be this good. She was, I think, the best rookie in the league in plus minus this year. And yeah, it was close. And look, Satu's had a great year as well. Not to take anything away from nearly 14-8, but I was really close between Carter and Dangerfield. But I've gone with you just with the extra wins as pushing Dangerfield.
I think for me, and Kaz, I'll let you come in a sec. I think if Dallas would have made the 8, I'd have absolutely no reservations about going Satu, because she would have been such a big part of getting them there. Again, I don't know what I'm getting from
Atlanta made the 8, would you have had Carter?
No, I'd gone Dangerfield.
And I think we've discussed this off air, and I think this needs to come on air. I think me and Kaz both disagree if Dallas had made the 8, especially the way they would have made the 8, that Kennedy Carter would have deserved it, because that's the reason Dallas win the playoffs.
She's so good, she takes other teams to the playoffs.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. No, can I just be? Can I be serious for a second? Obviously, I jest about Kennedy Carter, like hell of a player, hell of a season. The injury stretch took her down a little. What again, Michael? What do you want?
Carter and Satu played the same amount of games this year.
No, I did not.
Which is
Well,
one
It's
one
lucky
less
that
than.
it's lucky that I voted for Dangerfield, then, isn't it?
They both played 16. Yeah, and because obviously
Whoa.
Satu had the concussion at the end of the year.
Oh, of course, yeah.
She missed the games, and that's another thing I should have mentioned. That's the thing. Carter and Satu both missed 6 games, and Crystal just missed the 1. So
Yeah.
That was a kind of another small factor in my decision.
And the story is just outrageous. Like 16th overall pick. Well, you can read the story, FocusHoops.com. Kaz, who have we locked in?
I've got to lock in Kennedy Carter. She's for me, she's been the best rookie. I just don't think Crystal Dangerfield has been fantastic. She's great. The stats are so close. You know, as you say, it's a great story. But I just don't think if you take Crystal Dangerfield off Minnesota, they drop from 14 wins to the 7 wins that Atlanta do. I don't think she has an impact. She has a massive impact. I just don't think she has the same impact on her team that Carter does on Atlanta. And I think that 6-game stretch where she was injured shows that they're a different team without her. And I think Minnesota wouldn't have dropped that far to say if she missed the same amount of games. And she's just so exciting. She's so exciting to watch.
So if you switch their situations, who's to say that Atlanta don't end on more than, was it 7 wins?
7, yeah.
Yeah. Who's to say they don't get more wins?
I don't think they get 14 if you put Dangerfield on Atlanta. I don't think the impact is in the numbers of the games to flip it.
But you don't think they're going to win any more games with Dangerfield than with Carter?
Not any, maybe 1 or 2, but not the difference. Not the difference that it makes.
Well, I mean, 1 or 2 games, like depending, that's significant in a 22 game.
I mean,
Yeah, but when you take Carter off Atlanta, that
Right.
6-game stretch.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
But who didn't get injured for a 6-game stretch? I mean, that's really mean. That's really unfair.
It comes down to luck though as well sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
We might, Sabrina in her 3rd game.
Mate. Is she? Do we know if she's gone to Europe yet?
No, she's been. She's done a few interviews and stuff, but not mentioned anything I've seen. She just seems to be rehabbing at the moment. She's been with the Bryants in California as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's all the individual awards bar the big one. Or we were renaming awards. What did we call the 6th woman? Was it the Erica Award for Excellence or something like that?
Yes, I like that. Like the Lou Williams Award in the NBA.
Okay, WNBA 2020 second team. Mikey, what are you saying?
I can't remember who I put.
All right, awesome.
Go to Kaz. Let me grab my phone, which is not on my desk, and I will come back to you.
Kazzy B.
Okay, so I went for the positions, but I do like the idea of we could have a positionless all WNBA team. So second team. I've got Arike at guard, Jewel Lloyd at guard.
Okay.
Duana Bonner as forward, Nafisa Collier, and Maisha Hines-Allen playing centre.
I'm really intrigued to see who you've got in your first team. So just let's just run those numbers by me, names by me again, and you can put these in the chat, and we can come to a consensus.
Arike Ogunbowale,
right,
and Jewel Lloyd at guard.
Okay.
Duana Bonner at forward with Nafisa Collier, and Maisha Hines-Allen at centre.
Okay.
And the positions thing, I think with the positions thing, Collier really loses out in sometimes. That's why I'd like a positionless one.
Is Kennedy Carter by any chance in your first team All NBA or WNBA?
She's not actually.
Is
I've
she
got
not?
no rookies. No. I mean, she's in my heart, but kind of.
Well, I mean, naturally. Mikey.
Okay, so I've gone with Taurasi,
Okay.
Mitchell, Kelsey Mitchell of Indiana, Bonner, Collier, and Alyssa Thomas.
Okay. Arike second team. I mean, really, like, is this what we've come to? Okay, I'm gonna join you with Diana Taurasi. Or do I want to do it? Do I want to be that guy?
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. Well, is it Crystal Dangerfield though?
Oh no, then you don't want to be that guy. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I mean, it could be Julie Alamond, you know. Is that ridiculous?
Yes.
Ooh,
I think
that's ridiculous. Tell me why it's ridiculous.
So you're going to put a rookie in the All WNBA second team, but not have her as rookie of the year.
Yeah, fair. Well, hang on, you don't know who's in my first team yet. I think we go Alyssa Thomas. Reasonable? We happy?
I mean, I put her in. Offense has been good this year, but you've got to account her defense as well, and that's what kind of, when I was kind of looking at that second guard, that's kind of what lifted her for me over others. In fact, I didn't even. Yeah, I had her. Yeah, I did put her in.
Now it's just a decision. Betnaj Laney. Shall I do it?
Well, it depends who you drop to put her in.
Oh yeah. So Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Duana Bonner, Collier, Betnaj Laney. No, that didn't work. I'm missing a forward. This is riveting.
You can get away with it.
I can get away with it.
Collier's played some minutes at the 5 with fouls out. Bonner can definitely be a 4 if she needed her to.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Thomas isn't exactly small.
Amanda Zawi B. No.
That's a stretch.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to lock that in. DT, Alyssa Thomas, Duana Bonner, Collier, and Betnaj Laney. Those are the second team awards. The first team. Kaz, who are we going with?
Skylar Diggins-Smith, Courtney Vandersloot, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, and Candace Parker. Imagine how many assists Courtney Vandersloot had averaged when that team played.
Is she American, Courtney Vandersloot?
She's got a different passport. I read that this afternoon.
She's not Dutch or something, is she? Like
possibly, but she's not. So she's not playing for the US team. She's playing for.
Who does she play for? Who's her international team? She doesn't appear to play international basketball.
Well, that one stayed that way for long.
Well, you'd have thought. I mean, She's 89 born, so what does that make her? 31. So she should have been, surely, if she was gonna play FIBA, and she's been absolutely making a mockery of the WNBA in terms of assists for years now, you'd have thought she'd be already in that program, surely. I don't know.
She's definitely playing for not the US. She's definitely playing for someone else.
Someone else. Okay, interesting.
One of the other countries in the world.
Now
Mikey.
down a lot.
Mikey, who is yours? Who's in your first team?
Vandersloot, Arike, and then the three bigs, Parker, Wilson, and Stewie.
Yeah, and that's who I've got as well, which is exciting.
Her nationality, okay, this is... Yeah, her nationality, though, she was born in the States. She was born near Seattle.
Yeah. I got really excited for a second because she's born in a place called Kent. I was like, oh, could it be?
Oh, she's American-Hungarian, apparently.
Hungarian, that was it.
Oh, does she play for Hungary? Again, you'd expect that to
I'm
be.
glad she didn't play for Hungary at Eurobasket, otherwise
That's true. That would have been big. Right, let's go to it. The Asia Wilson Award for Excellence, aka the WNBA 2020 MVP.
Agreed.
Yep.
Congratulations to Asia Wilson, who has got a unanimous Focus Hoops WNBA MVP for the year 2020. And again, graphics coming up on Thursday.
I think it was a shame we didn't get to see her face off with Stewart on Sunday because she was out with an injury.
Yeah,
that would have been a good matchup.
And for you guys, that was the 1 and the 2, was it? Wilson and Stewart.
I was kind of considering 4th, Vandersloot.
Yeah.
Stewie.
Parker,
and Wilson. But best player on the best team, and if not the best numbers, one of the top 3 sets of numbers in the league. So
she's had 15 20-point games. Her and Arike have, and the next closest players had 10.
So, second in points. Where was she in rebounds? 7th in rebounds. So that's, real nice.
She's 5th in plus minus with 8.1.
Oh, wow. Yes. Oh, Alicia Clark. Yeah, 1st overall in plus minus. Ooh. Yeah. For me, it was either going to be Sloot or Wilson. I think. I could have taught myself into Arike Gumbawale as well, but let's maybe not this time. So that is award season done. I've not even written down MVP on my list because that was that was kind of ridiculous. So that is going to do it for tonight. We will be back on Thursday to break down go over the 2 first round matchups and preview the second round matchups as well. And then I need to double check the playoff schedule because we might need an emergency show before next Thursday, but we will let you know. Make sure that you are over on the Focus Hoops YouTube channel, where you will see a new video has gone up, including a small bit of Michael Hansen-Morris shooting a basketball. No, hang on. Did I cut that bit out? I think I might have cut that bit out. But Michael Hansen-Morris, in his moment of glory last year, the Anglia Ruskin winning the WNBL Cup final back in February to get us excited for the WNBL season. So please check that out over on Focus Hoops YouTube channel. Kaz, anything that you've got going on that the people need to know about?
No, just watch the WNBA. Watch the basketball. It's been an amazing season so far, and it's not over yet. It's sad to see the teams leave the wobble, though.
It is. It sure is. Mikey, anything from your good self?
Please may the officiating and clock management be efficient during the playoffs, so we have less drama.
Off the court, I suppose, yeah. Oh, and also Elias Sports Bureau. Let's get it right. We've got to get it right first time.
Let's get some out of bounds cameras around the edge of the court as well, just in case.
Trackers in players' heels, right? And when it hits the border, the boundary line, it all illuminates up red. Imagine it.
I like it.
That would be very expensive, but it would be pretty cool. The NBA can afford it. It'll be fine. All right, then. So that is going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us, watching the Focus Hoops WNBA show. Again, Kaz, thanks as always for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And Mikey, of course, thank you as always for joining us.
No problem at all.
And thank you again to our presenting sponsor, Notch. You can check them out, mynotch.co.uk, mynotch on Instagram, and Next Notch on Twitter. Make sure you check them out. Notch, mark of achievement. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight, and we will speak to you very soon.